Welcome back to your briefing on the Trump transition. We're going to do a little special conversation here at the Grill in Boca Raton. Normally, there's a Wise Guys conversation with the one and only John Tabacco with Wise Guys in New York, but you're taking it on the road to the south. You can see him on Newsmax, 10 p.m. Eastern on Saturdays. And I'm joined also by the one and only Roger Stone. Roger, you've worked so long and hard to get this America First agenda front and center. Most of the Trump cabinet and team has been put together, and it seems like on the national security front, you've been most moved by Tulsi Gabbard and the idea that the left wants to say she's not a patriot.
Yeah, this is outrageous. I mean, Tulsi Gabbard serves as a four-term member of Congress, member of the House Armed Services Committee, Foreign Affairs Committee. She's a lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Army Reserve today, served her country in combat in Kuwait and Iraq. To question her patriotism or her loyalty just because she doesn't want to ship billions of more dollars to Ukraine is outrageous. It's irresponsible. It's what the Democrats call part of their wrap-up smear. The other standout here, I think, frankly, is Pam Bondi. I know her well because she was the Attorney General of Florida. She's tough as nails. She completely understands the president's agenda and the need to rebalance the scales of justice. This isn't about retribution. It's not about revenge. It's about every American being treated fairly under our legal system.
And she was also very aggressive, cracking down on fentanyl and illegal immigration.
She's going to be
Attorney General here in
She's
Florida.
going to be great. She's going to be great.
Your specialty is the economy. You have folks in the Biden-Harris administration like Gary Gensler at the SEC. He's been over-regulating crypto and everything else. He's going to be out. A new sheriff coming to town. Donald Trump was ringing the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange today, and people were chanting, USA, USA. There's an optimism. There's about economic growth.
You know, since the end of October, the market's been going up, and Joe Biden's like trying to take credit for that, right?
It's because he's leaving.
No, but the truth of the matter is, right, the market looks forward. The market looks at what's going to happen 2 quarters out, 3 quarters out, not what happened yesterday, right? So the market's been telling us since October Trump's going to win, right? So the market's only starting now. Be a little end of year selling here because a lot of people have profits, but then right after the inauguration, I think it rockets. My favorite person outside the cabinet is this guy Paul Atkins. That's going to be the new SEC chairman.
Correct.
SEC over-regulates small companies right now. Over-regulates access to capital, formation of capital. And there's all kinds of weird things that the big incumbents do that hurt retail investors. I think Paul Atkins is going to deregulate. I've heard Elon Musk say he's going to get rid of the entire SEC. So Elon, let's do that. But in the meantime, I think Atkins is going to really look at trade settlement enforcement, which protects retail investors.
When we talk about the economy, Roger, there's a lot we disagree with James Carville on, but when he said it's the economy stupid in '92 and it helped Bill Clinton, that truism still works. Donald Trump knows he's got to get inflation down, he's got to focus on the economy. You said a moment ago, it's not about retribution with investigations, the lawfare that Democrats had on him. But with someone like Kash Patel, how do you think Donald Trump is going to balance that? Because if it's just about putting Hunter Biden or someone in jail, people are going to say, my groceries are still up here.
Yeah, first of all, the key here, of course, is to have a successful midterm election. Otherwise, if the Democrats recapture the House, we're going to go back into this cycle of investigation and smear. So Donald Trump understands the first and most important thing he needs to do is to juice this economy. He knows how to do it. It is, first of all, to bring energy prices down, drill, baby, drill. You know that's the cornerstone. That's right. But beyond that, renew the tax cuts. That will help do it. If we have a vibrant economy by 2022, which we will, because Trump is hitting the ground running.
You mean by 26?
By 26, we will win the midterm elections, and we will have a golden age of peace, prosperity, security, and justice.
That sounds pretty good.
I like that a lot. The one thing, I kind of come from the world of short selling, so I've identified overvalued companies in my career. And there's a thing called a black swan event. It's like the one black swan tucked in a fleet of whites. And that's like what risk managers look for. I don't like the fact that China owns practically $1 trillion of our debt. And the more Trump threatens them with 100% tariffs and getting rid of BRICS, at any old time, Chairman Xi can show up at a U.S. Treasury auction and say, you know what, we're not going to buy 50 billion of your crappy notes today. And in fact, we want to sell 200 billion.
Sure.
But and that could really
He
hurt
could have done
Donald
that for a
Trump.
long time and hasn't. And now Donald Trump is saying he wants to invite President Xi to his inaugural, and there's no record of a foreign leader attending such a thing. Do you think that's a smart idea to sort of have an olive branch? Nobody thinks he's soft on China. Everyone knows he's been tough with the tariffs, and he's saying, let's get together. Let's make sure that there's a new age. You called it a golden age.
Look, I think it'd be great if Chairman Xi came to the inauguration, but maybe that's when the president can tell them that we're filing a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit against them for their release of the Wuhan virus, because there is real legal liability there based on lawyers I respect.
Yeah, and one thing that I've thrown out there is maybe Trump could tell Xi, hey, listen, we owe you $1 trillion here. We won't sue you for everything you did to us. Just cut our debt in half. We'll
Somebody
give you
once called
50%
that
out
the
of that.
art of the deal.
Yeah,
It
that's
was a
what I'm saying,
best-selling
but
book.
he could.
When you're talking about debt, DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. Talk about the role of Elon Musk. It doesn't have the force of law, but I agree with John, I'm sure you do. The debt is out of control, $36 trillion. It's a big part of our economic problems, mortgaging our children and grandchildren's future. What about remaking government? You've been around Nixon and Reagan. People say they're going to change. And you've got 8% or something of the workforce at the USDA, the Agriculture Department, in the building. They're all working from home. They got the lights on. They got the security. And we're wasting billions and billions of dollars.
Look, I think it's a great idea. I was particularly happy to see that Elon and Vivek recruited Ron Paul to join the effort. And they have the bully pulpit. So once they identify these billions of dollars of waste and fraud, it's not going to just disappear like the Grace Commission did in the 80s. People will know about it. People will demand that something be done about it.
Absolutely. Your final thought.
Well, you know, in the UK, they regulate firms by how many complaints they get. So there's basically no regulations until people start reporting you, right? I think Elon is going to axe pretty much the whole Securities and Exchange Commission, and then just keep the enforcement to get the bad guys and let people form capital and protect investors. I'm hoping for that.
Gentlemen, appreciate it. Roger Stone, check out his show on Rumble. It's outstanding. And
Thank
you've
you.
always been a friend. Appreciate that.
Great to be
and
here.
John, Wise Guys, Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern on Newsmax.